My friend thinks we're sharing a husband. Sharing is caring? Not in this case. This story is from the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. All right, internet besties, I need unbiased advice because I'm either standing on business or slowly being gaslit into looking crazy. Allow me. I, 35 female, have been married with my husband, 42 male, for 4 years. Together for almost 8 years. We get along well, and we actually like each other because we were friends for 6 years before dating. We've had issues since January because of my friend / coworker, 45 female. We've been friends for a little over 2 years. I'm a laid-back wife. I'm not jealous. I'm not territorial. I've always believed if someone can take your husband, then he was never yours. And the trash took itself out. I trust my husband. Okay, we love a secure queen. There is weird energy and a lot of miscommunication, all coming from my girlfriend. At first, it was putting a strain on my relationship, and now it's suffocating. Me and my friend are part of a friend group of 5 ladies, all single except me. I'm the only married one in the group. So, last year, I started a dumb joke that my husband was our husband. Bunny ears. I'd even offer to rent him out, bunny ears, when they needed help moving, fixing a car, mounting a TV, because I was once single, a single mom, and I remember not having help. So yes, I created that monster. I own it. I mean, I can tell that that's a joke. There's a difference between like making a joke, making light of a situation, and crossing a very obvious boundary.
The limit does not exist. The limit does not exist.
My friend started taking the joke a little too seriously. She asks for his help more than anyone else. He always shows up because he's genuinely a helpful guy. Fine. Then she starts casually calling him our husband. Still fine. Yeah, that is like, well, you call him like our husband, so I could see her also doing it. Then her teen kids start calling my husband her boyfriend. Okay, yeah, no. That didn't sit right, but I said nothing. Now here's where it gets spicy. My husband is a nagger. I am not. During a party we hosted, we just had a disagreement. Parties are stressful. He and my friend were outside cleaning up, and I could tell he was venting about me. Whatever, that's not even the issue. The issue is the second I walked outside, she abruptly changed the subject like I caught them plotting world domination. The energy shifted immediately. Weird. Another time they're in my garage planning my birthday party. Bunny ears. It wasn't a surprise. I already knew about it, but he didn't want me planning it. They weren't alone. His cousin was there too. I walk up to them to tell her something, and she jokingly dismisses me and tells me to go back inside because they're talking. Bunny ears. Excuse me, ma'am, in my own house? Then comes my birthday party situation. My husband tells me my girlfriend said she couldn't give him the final price to prepare the food because it kept changing my mind. Now listen, for other events, yes, I'm creative and I'm often tweaking things, but for this party, I told her she had free range. Just give me my 2 favorite meals, that's all. I was completely nonchalant. So instead of admitting she didn't have the numbers together, she blames me, and now my husband said I was being difficult. Not them kikiing about you. I confront her. She gets offended, not about what she said, but because I didn't ask her if that's what she said. Then she hits me with,
I don't talk to people's husbands like that.
Excuse me? I never accused you of that, so why are we clarifying that? That's when my eyes get opened.
The prophecy is true.
She tells me I think my husband hates me, and that's between me and him. I need to figure that out. It has nothing to do with her. Why would I ever be with someone who hates me? That comment alone makes me start replaying every conversation I've ever had with her. Now things escalate. She needed party items from my house. I load everything into our trailer. I can't drive it. My husband has to. She tells me she works all week, needs everything before 5 p.m., and she has to be there to put the things away. Fine. Apparently she calls him that morning because she needs him to transfer the money from Zelle to her personal account. Why is my husband your personal bank teller? Why did she not even ask me? While on that call, She tells him she was called off work. She never told me. Then my husband tells me to call her and verify her schedule. Oh, absolutely not. Why am I verifying anything? Why are you two coordinating schedules and finances and then sending me to confirm?
She's playing you, Sal.
That's when I felt like boundaries were not just blurry, they were erased. Now, to be fair, I genuinely don't think my husband is cheating, but my friend worships him. She said in front of me that I talk back too much. She's divorced. Her ex treated her horribly, so in her mind, my husband is perfect and I should be grateful. It's offensive. Hot take, but like, whenever a friend is kind of like, you should be grateful about your life, you have such a great life, it's because they secretly want your life. We made up after a confrontation where she swore on her kids' lives she never said my husband hated me. Even though I heard it with my own ears, she said it to me. We tried to go back to normal, but I was on edge. Not the gaslighting. I have such a good memory that like it's impossible for anyone to gaslight me. And when they do, I'm so immediately turned off.
Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, get out of my station.
Fast forward to a friend's birthday dinner. First time my friend and husband see each other since the drama.
That's some drama.
Everything was cordial. Then we're taking pictures at the end of the night. She asks me to take a picture of her and my husband. I beg your finest pardon. I, like an idiot, agree. She wraps her arm above his waist. She then doesn't like the picture. Oh my God, no. So she had to take it again. So she wanted another one so she could then wrap her arms around his waist the second time. Oopsie. She requests another picture. The second one is a side hug. It's appropriate. She hates it because you can see her belly. She asks for a third picture. Wait, no, hold on.
Oops. I did it again, baby.
Hold the on. Because like, who are you trying to like impress here? I said no, I'll crop your stomach, we're done here. I was seeing red. On the drive home, I asked my husband why he didn't step back when she got in his personal space. He gets defensive and says he should never have went to the dinner. He asks if he was supposed to push her.
How about I push you off this roof?
It's not like overtly push. You can politely put her in her place. No, sir, but as a married man, you create space. He says I'm beefing with my friend and blaming him. I think it's like just at the point where both of them are getting a little too comfortable and I would be so uncomfortable. I said the only reason I have a problem with her is because of you and the fact that neither of you respect boundaries. I texted her that I didn't like how she hugged him, and if she can't respect boundaries, we can't be friends. I sent her the picture and a video of how a married man should hug other women. Oh my God.
I'm a visual learner, so that's very helpful. Thank you.
It should literally be like a, She apologized, okay, that's good, and said that's how she hugs her friends. Even though I've already told her before, he is not her friend, I am. She told me to delete the picture. She says she values our friendship more than anything and says she's truly sorry, so I told her we need to meet face to face because she's not comprehending what boundaries are. So here's the boundary list I made for our face to face. Do not call my husband your husband, boyfriend, or friend. Do not come to my house without calling first. If I'm not home, leave. Do not put food in my husband's mouth. Yes, that happened. She fed him? Do not hug or physically touch my husband. Do not call my husband for anything. Call me. You are no longer allowed to be alone with my husband. Stop lifting your shirt and showing your bra when you're hot around him. Ah! Absolutely not. If someone talks about me and you can't defend me, walk away. No. Every single one of those things has happened. Yeah, I also really don't love how they're like keying about you and he like is clearly probably complaining about you. Her only response should be like, don't say that to my face. Find someone else to because I'm not the one. So tell me, internet, am I protecting my marriage or am I overreacting? Is this delusion audacity or am I justified? Because right now it feels like I'm their third wheel. So I'm either setting healthy boundaries or starring in the prequel to a story I don't want to finish. I don't know if they would overtly cheat on you. It is like very inappropriate. Like very inappropriate. Let's just say that I had a friend that like was a little too adventurous
Is that what they're calling it these days?
when it came to like kind of showing off her body in front of married men. I think that's fine if you're at a party and everybody is single. It's a bit of an attention grab, but like whatever. If you're at a party and or you're in a social situation and there's married men there, you do not take your shirt off. Like you do not, like there's no pool, no nothing. Like you don't just like lift up your shirt. It's just common decency. So weird. Update. I blocked my friend on my husband's phone the night of the hug incident, and everything feels broken. For those who asked for an update about my last post, here it is. The same night the hug incident happened, after I texted Monica, I went ahead and blocked her on all of my husband's socials and his phone number. I also deleted their text messages between them. Then I waited. I gave it 2 days just to see if anything would magically get unblocked behind my back, and nothing did. So I finally told my husband what I had done because I wanted to see his reaction. He immediately told me I was taking things too far. He should have done that. I'm sorry, but like you having to do that, like he should have done that. The minute that you said that you were uncomfortable, I understand that they're like buddies, but like they lost the privileges of being buddies. He said it was not that deep and asked me why I would even do something like that. According to him, it wasn't right. He should have done that of his own volition. I told him it made me feel better. Then he asked me again what the problem was between Monica and I. And I kept telling him the problem is him, but he just doesn't believe me. I mean, it's both of them. Like he's definitely, I don't like Monica. Like I literally don't like her. Like, nah. Oh, no. You know, they both owe you loyalty, but your husband owes you more loyalty. And the minute that you say that you're uncomfortable about a situation, it doesn't matter if he thinks you're overreacting. What you care about should matter to him. He just doesn't believe me. At that point, I couldn't get him to understand my point of view, so I sent him this post I wrote about everything, so he may or may not be reading the comments. For context, my husband is from the same country as Monica, and English is both of their second language. I share the same background culturally, but I was born here. Instead of reading the entire post, he stopped halfway through and told me that I started this mess myself. He said he never knew I used to joke about him being our husband, and now suddenly I'm trying to complain about it and blame him. Okay, shut up. Shut up! Like, literally shut up. That is very clearly a joke. And a joke that probably came from you sort of like trying to like almost make it okay that everybody kept asking your husband for help. You do not take that joke and run with it. He stopped reading right there.
That sign can't stop me because I can't read.
So honestly, I gave up. I can't force someone to understand something if they don't want to understand it. As for Monica, I actually went into work an hour early so I could talk to her privately, but she got caught up and the conversation never happened. The vibe between us was very off. Later that day, she posted something on social media about how sometimes friendships hurt, and then she deleted the post. So here we are. I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my original post, the good, the bad, and even the harsh ones. I read every single comment, and honestly, it helps reinforce in my mind that I'm not crazy for feeling the way I do. No, you're not crazy, and I'm really sorry that your husband is not listening to you. Your spidey senses are going off, my guy. If you feel uncomfortable about a situation, like, you should be able to go to your husband and be like, I don't like that. Because it's just like, it's just weird. Like I've often said that, yeah, okay, you can be, in my mind, I am not like friends with my friends' husbands. Like you said, my friends are my friends and my friends' husbands are my friends' husbands. Let's say my friends like get a divorce or they break up with that guy. He's dead to me. Like literally, like our friendship does not exist. Friendship does not exist. Okay. I have literally no reason to be texting or talking to my friends' husbands. There's even like a social decorum with it where people will text both people in a group chat.
You and me, just us and your friend Steve.
Unless you're planning some sort of surprise or an engagement, or like you have business, you want to hire that person, there should be like, honestly, very few reasons in my mind that you should be having a personal relationship with someone else's husband. I'm just saying. That's how I operate. I don't see any reason why. I know I'm a people pleaser. I know I can be a pushover, and I know I love way too deep and try and give people the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, but you also set some very clear boundaries, and I don't care if people don't like it. Here's the thing. People are not gonna like it when you set boundaries as a people pleaser. They're just not.
Too bad, so sad, bye-bye.
You know who you need to worry about the most is yourself. You cannot go around in life harboring resentment, wishing that you had said something when you didn't, wishing you had called people out when you didn't. You just can't go through life like that. Like, yes, you're allowing it so that other people aren't upset, but what about you? Don't you care about you? Don't you care about your feelings and your feelings of resentment and your stress? Because I can tell you right now, the minute I started setting boundaries with people and stopped resenting them because like I said exactly what was on my mind and I stopped people from walking all over me, I started being happier. I stopped overthinking as much. It's so important. Just do it, please. It is that time of year to get your little piggies out of your Bombas gripper slippers and into the Bombas Friday sandals. I will not be showing my toes in this video, not for free. It has been a long winter, my friends, longer than most, and I'm really excited to do some actual gardening this summer. But before I can do that, I have a ton of yard work to do, and the perfect shoe to wear when you're digging around in the dirt is the Bombas Friday sandal. They come in like 9 different colors. They're super light and squishy, great support, great traction. They have this hexagonal pattern on the sole that'll prevent you from slipping and sliding around. Plus, I've already been using these to dig around in the dirt and do some yard work. And all you have to do to clean them is just hose them down and they look like new. And if that isn't reason enough to pick them up, Bombas is a purpose-driven brand. They make the #1, #2, and #3 most requested items in clothing shelters, socks, underwear, and t-shirts. And Bombas has a one purchase, one donated policy. Over 200 million essential clothing items have been donated to date, and every item comes with a 100% happiness guarantee. I love working with Bombas. They're such a great company. And I also have a code for you. For new customers, you get 20% off of your first purchase. Just go to bombas.com/Charlotte Dobre and use code Charlotte Dobre, all caps, at checkout. So when I'm for someone, I'm really for them. I'm a girl's girl to my core, and that's exactly why this hurts. I've decided to walk away. Walking away from this friendship feels almost impossible. I keep wishing I could wake up from this nightmare and everything would go back to normal. But the truth is, there's no going back now. I can't unsee what I saw. My heart is breaking over this. Oh, bestie, I feel betrayed. I keep asking myself why she would treat me like this. We were like sisters. I truly loved her, like the sister I never had, and what hurts the most is that I feel like she knows I hate confrontation and she's leaning into that. Because in that picture, she's smirking.
What did he say?
So I'm done. I'm gonna find another job and focus on myself, but I still wanna talk with her so she doesn't play the victim. I want my friends there not to pick sides, but to understand we have irreconcilable differences. We can still do business together, but we will not be friends. Update. My husband thought me and my friend were setting him up until he read the messages. Huh? Things took a turn. I didn't expect this outcome. After everything that happened, my husband initially thought that me and Monica were setting him up. In his mind, because me and her were so close, he didn't believe what I was telling him. He thought it didn't make sense that she would act like that. So the only explanation to him was that we were both playing some kind of game on him. That alone blew my mind. But then he actually sat down and read the messages. Not just skimmed them, really read them. He spoke to one of his friends, had a real conversation, and then came back to me and we had a long, serious talk. That's when things shifted. He realized I wasn't being dramatic, I wasn't exaggerating, and I definitely wasn't crazy. Once it clicked for him, he actually got upset. Not at me, but at Monica. Finally. Finally. Like literally. As a loyal husband, you should be upset about your wife's friends pushing boundaries and being inappropriate. They shouldn't exist to you outside of your marriage and like them just kind of being on the fringes of it. What bothered him most was this. At no point did she try to clear anything up. She never once said nothing is going on. She never tried to reassure the situation. She never corrected anything. And he admitted something that honestly stuck with me. He said, from the outside looking in, it does look like something is going on. Absolutely. And that's what upset him. Not because anything actually happened. He still stands firmly on the fact that nothing has ever happened between them, but because now he sees how everything looks and how far the boundaries were pushed.
Took him long enough.
But here's the part that's not sitting right with me. He doesn't understand why she has an attitude with me. During our text exchange, instead of trying to fix things or even meet me halfway, she came off defensive and almost bothered like I was the problem. He doesn't understand because it's like a real friend would step away and respect the boundary. She's defensive because she knows she's caught. And that's what's confusing me now, because if nothing is going on, if everything is innocent, why the attitude? Why no reassurance? Why no accountability? Why no effort to fix the friendship? Because she wants your husband, babe. She doesn't care about you. At this point, I feel like I finally got some validation from my husband, which I needed. Thank you. Took long enough. Some guys are really just that thick. Not a lot going on. But with her, we tried to keep it business, and now the friendship is officially over. This is my final update because at this point, there's nothing left to figure out. We tried to continue working together and keep things strictly business. It didn't work at all. She wouldn't hold up her end of the deal, and every single thing I said either confused her or made her defensive. There was no accountability, no communication, nothing productive. And I don't mix drama with business. So I treated her exactly how I would treat any regular client. Professional, direct, no emotions involved. That clearly didn't sit well with her. She got frustrated and finally told me to give her her things and she would give me mine. That was it for me. That was the nail in the coffin. I'm done. We are no longer friends. But that wasn't the end of it. She went to our mutual friends crying about how hurt she is because I accused her of being inappropriate with my husband.
But you were.
All you have to do is like show people that picture. Body language tells everything. She's painting herself as the victim. Meanwhile, she's taking zero accountability for anything she's done, not the boundaries she's crossed, not the way she handled conversations, not the tension she created, nothing. And honestly, that's what leaves the worst taste in my mouth because I can deal with conflict, I can deal with misunderstandings, but I cannot deal with someone who refuses to take accountability and then flips the story. At this point, I'm choosing peace. It hurts, I won't lie. This was someone I truly cared about, someone I considered family, but I'd rather lose a friendship than keep explaining my boundaries to someone who keeps ignoring them. I'm really relieved. Like, her immediate response to you being uncomfortable about anything that she's doing is to respect that. And the fact that she's being like defensive and weird is like, I think that tells you everything you need to know, honestly. I'm glad that you cut her out. It's really not worth it, honestly. At bare minimum, they're talking about you behind your back. At bare minimum, she's kind of like sneaking her way in to like show her what a good wife she would be. If you had let it go on any longer, she would have made a move. So you're not crazy. There's definitely something going on from her side. Your husband's a little dumb. I'm glad he finally saw the light. We've got some more best friend drama. Don't go anywhere. And if you're enjoying this channel and you like talking, hit that subscribe button. We talk a lot of on this channel. Am I the a-hole for sending this text after my friend returned clothing she took from my apartment? All rise. You may be seated. My best friend of 10 years, we'll call her Lucy, has been cat sitting for my husband and me for around a year and a half. We pay her and let her and her partner stay in our apartment. Most recently, she stayed for 2 weeks. Additional context, while she was there, I left her 3 bags of clothes to keep, which we talked about beforehand. These bags had the same type of clothing she later returned, pants, tops, PJs, etc. So she had plenty that she was welcome to take. Not her helping herself. 2 weeks after getting back from vacation, when Lucy and I were hanging out, she mentioned she had borrowed my aloe sweatpants while staying over and needed to return them. Okay, not asking first. And bestie, aloe sweatpants are expensive.
Oh my God!
I didn't know she'd taken them, and she wouldn't have known this, but they were a gift I'd only worn once. A few days later, I asked to get the sweatpants back and a pair of Lulu leggings I knew she had from a few months earlier. When I got the clothes back another 2 weeks later, she brought out a huge bag of clothes, far more than I knew she had. Some things were missing since last summer, some were new and never washed or worn, and some were sentimental and vintage. They were clearly from multiple drawers and cabinet in my bedroom and closet, not things I willingly lent her. Oh no. See, this is why, like, sometimes I know that there's like a lot of dog sitters out there that like, they like, you know, stay in your house. I don't think I could ever do that. I got a really nice bag collection, you guys. Maybe, no.
No.
Even if they were a guy, like they could like, no, I do have like a combo. Like I do have a lock on it. I don't trust anybody. Like I literally, I literally don't. You wanna know why? It's because I am so like generous. I trust myself, but I don't trust other people. Like I'm willing to like lend, not everything, but sometimes I will lend people things. I will like make them super, super welcome in my space, etc., etc. But almost always people cross the boundary. You give them an inch and they take a mile. Almost every time. Like I have yet to be proven wrong about that.
The field always be right.
I revel in it.
Since I also had left the 3 donate bags, I worried that everything got mixed together and it would be a guessing game to figure out what was mine. She apologized to me to let her know if I could think of anything else I'm missing.
Why don't you tell me?
Also now, if you don't think of anything else you're missing, she's just not gonna give it back to you? How about she goes through her closet, finds everything else and gives it back? Over the next few weeks, I asked about some specific items, including pants that went missing around the first time she cat sat. She had those too. She said next time I'm over, I can look through her closet to see if she missed anything. At that point, I'd been trying to get my stuff back for around 6 weeks. Ugh. Absolutely not. This was the message I sent. I need to be honest about how serious this feels to me. It doesn't sit right that I would have to come search through your closet to figure out what of mine you took. Over the past year and a half, you went through multiple drawers and cabinets in my home and took so many items without ever asking or telling me. Some of these were things I had never washed or worn. Some were gifts. Some were sentimental or vintage and irreplaceable. I've also spent time thinking I lost certain items at yoga or in my building's laundry, never once imagining that my friend, someone I trusted in my home, had taken them from me. I need the rest of my belongings returned. If you're unsure if something is mine, send me a picture and I can let you know. Be so for real right now. Who doesn't know what's theirs? No, the only instance in which this is somehow passable, in my opinion, and like it would drive me absolutely crazy. Like I'm so glad I don't have any sisters, but like it like sisters steal clothes, right? But like you live in the same house. No, she fully like stole from you, and if you hadn't noticed, she would have just kept them. Nah, buddy, no. This is like friendship ending. I'm done. Like I'm done. Okay, text goes on. I just need space to process everything because I didn't expect this at all while you were staying here. And I'm at a complete loss because I never thought you would be someone to violate my privacy in such a big way. She apologized and has since returned more items. The total is now around 25 pieces of clothing. No. Am I the a-hole for sending that message? No, you would be an a-hole for not sending that message. I'm worried I should have worded it more nicely and that my directness could make me an a-hole in this situation. She stole from you. I feel like you were too nice. Not the a-hole your friend stole from you and is making it your responsibility to tell her what she stole. That's what's like crazy to me. Like if you didn't remember, then it's like,
Oh, it's just mine now.
Not the a-hole, this person is not your friend and is taking advantage of you. I would find another cat sitter. Yeah, that part. And also, I don't love that people are like staying in your house. Not a fan. If you did find another cat sitter to stay with you, I would set up like cameras. Truthfully, I used to have like back when I lived alone, I had cameras set up like close to my closet where all my like nice stuff was, getting ready room where all my nice stuff was. Every time that like a friend would like go in there for whatever reason, I don't know, and I would get like a notification on my camera, I'd pop on the camera and just be like, hey!
Where is the intercom?
Oh my God, it sounds so awful, but like at least they know someone's watching, right? I just don't trust it. Because it happens literally every time. Not the a-hole, she took advantage of your trust and friendship. If she was smart, she would have put everything back before you even noticed. But she didn't, she just took it. She stole from you while being paid to do a job in your home. Oh yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Wow. You have the right to request your things back. Be safe and change the locks. Don't leave her alone in your home again. You handled it with politeness and class. You didn't use bad or aggressive language or make any threats or false accusations. I assume you didn't try to ruin her social or professional life either with drama. Yeah, I would actually argue that this is like, you could go to the police, to be honest. OP responded, no, I did not. If anything, I ended up with the brunt of it because I'm now the one out of the friend group trio because of my message being mean. I would go to your other friend and be like, if you notice anything missing, Kevin! You were literally paying her to do a job and she went and helped herself to your closet. To your aloe sweatpants. In my mind, no, you are not the a-hole. And if your friend has a problem with it, just like let her know that like she should look at her own closet, see if anything's missing. Would I be the a-hole if I kicked my friend out of my apartment earlier than I intended? This was posted in the Charlotte Dobre YouTube subreddit. Hey everybody! I need your guys' honest advice. I'm sorry this is such a long post. I really wish we had the option to send audio. I mean, possibly in the future. It's a good idea. I, 29 female, have a friend. Let's call her Sophia. 34 female. I met Sophia at work when I was teaching overseas during COVID in 2020. We clicked instantly and became very close very quickly. I would even babysit her daughter, and there were times I let her stay overnight or for a few days. Sophia felt like a big sister to me. She moved back to the States in 2022, and even though we lived in different countries, we stayed in touch. When I moved back to the States in 2023, it became even easier to keep in contact since we were in the same time zone. Fast forward to August of this year, Sophia visited my state for a family reunion with her daughter. On the last day of the trip, they stayed with me and we had a great time. Toward the end of August, Sophia told me her parents decided to sell their beach house where she, her daughter, and her sister were living. Since her sister planned to move in with her boyfriend, Sophia had two options. Option 1, find her own apartment. Option 2, move back in with her parents and pay $700 in rent. For context, where she lived at the beach house, she was only paying $250 a month. Dang.
It's free real estate.
There was a catch with option 2. Her parents were willing to help her watch her daughter while she got back on her feet, but they did not want her cat to come with them. I'm not sure why, especially since the cat got along with the dogs and Sophia had watched the dogs before. I felt bad because the cat meant a lot to her and her daughter loved it too. I suggested that if she didn't want to give up the cat, she should start looking for apartments in her city. Unfortunately, apartment hunting wasn't going well. That's when I suggested she move to my state. I explained she would have better job opportunities. My mom knows a lot of people and could help her find work, cheaper apartments, and better schools and social opportunities for her daughter. Okay, so you didn't tell her she could move in with you right away. Looking back, I really sold the idea I probably should have gone into sales. I was so focused on convincing her that I also said, you can stay with me temporarily until you find a job and a place.
Big mistake. Big. Huge.
I would like to state that my lease is up at the end of April and she will know of this information later on. In the back of my mind, I was hoping her parents would eventually allow the cat, but they didn't. She later texted me asking if my offer still stood. Before agreeing, I set clear expectations. I explained that her cat needed to be an indoor cat temporarily because I didn't want it going in and out of my house, bringing in who knows what. I have a dog and I didn't want him getting sick. Something similar had happened before and had cost me a lot of money. I told her also I liked my house very clean. Think Saturday mornings with music and cleaning supplies. Since I worked 2 jobs and attended school, she probably wouldn't see me much. I'm also a night owl and do most of my work at night. She agreed to all of this, so I said yes, she could stay temporarily. This is where I realized I had bitten off more than I could chew. Because a lot has happened between September and now, I'll list the issues below. 1. When they first arrived, her daughter broke my wooden fence from Home Depot with her suitcase. Sophia brushed it off and said we could just staple it.
That was easy.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, but where are my red flags? Where's the red flag? Yeah! The fence wasn't cheap and a regular stapler wouldn't fix it. She should have immediately offered to fix it and pay for it immediately. Within the first week, her cat destroyed the carpet near the bedroom door. She didn't mention it until I noticed it myself. Her solution was to put tape over it and said it would be fine. No, absolutely not. By the end of her first month, her daughter broke my soap dispenser. She replaced it with a cheap plastic one from Dollar Tree. Unfortunately, I can't replace the original because it was a one-of-a-kind item. In September, my mom sent her a job application. It took longer to process because she wasn't from my state and needed a background check. In the meantime, I sent her several job postings so she could earn income, but she didn't take them. During October and November, she didn't pay any rent. We had discussed rent and she suggested paying between $150 and $350 depending on what she could afford. When she didn't pay, I didn't press the issue because I assumed she was struggling. I later realized that the assumption was wrong.
Never assume.
I noticed she was very secretive. In November, she told me about a part-time job. We had multiple conversations about it. A few days later, after the conversation, my mom visited and asked her if she started the job my mom gave her.
That's suspicious.
Sophia told her she worked at a different job for 3 weeks. When I asked about the part-time job, she hesitated and said she no longer worked there, even though we just discussed it a few days ago. No. There are times in life where I'd be willing to help a friend. I have the space. I would say no longer than a week though. and they would need a job first. Like they would need to like come here and have a job and like try and look for a place to live. Because I know, like I literally just know that this happens like so often, like more often than one would like to admit. It sucks because like you do want to be able to help people, but like in the end, it ends up being you that gets hurt. Next, during October and November, she left her 6-year-old daughter home alone. I didn't know until one day she tried to leave without her when I was heading to work. I told her this was not okay because both of us could get into serious trouble. Her response was, well, I guess I'll have to take her with me. Yeah.
I would hope so.
Before Thanksgiving, my mom sat me down and asked if Sophia was paying rent. I said I didn't know and admitted I was overwhelmed. My mom offered to talk to her since Sophia was more open with her. She told my mom she didn't think she had to pay rent. What, because you didn't ask? This is the thing, right? I'm the type of person where I just grew up in an environment that like my parents and like their friends were always fighting over the bill. They were always so adamant that they, you know, it's like, okay, well, it's our turn next time. Okay, well, let me get this one. No, you got the last one. No, you got this one. Let me get it, okay? If someone is being incredibly kind to you and like being incredibly generous with you, you better not have to chase that person down and ask for them to pay you back. That person should be like so uncomfortable about the idea of owing you anything or letting you build up resentment because they're very clearly using you. That's just the way I operate. I don't know. Like, am I wrong?
You're gonna look at me and you're gonna tell me that I'm wrong? Am I wrong?
But this is the thing, like, yeah, you can't let the resentment build up either. Like, you should have asked her for rent. Sorry, OP, but you should have asked her. I've been in situations like this before where like I haven't said anything and the resentment built up and I decided that I wasn't gonna let that happen anymore and I just like flat out said like, hey, you owe me this amount of money. Those people that I'm talking about like will just be like, oh, well, she didn't ask. I guess she didn't want it. After this conversation, my mom made it clear that Sophia needed to start contributing and looking for a new place. She also expressed disappointment in how Sophia was handling the situation.
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
After Thanksgiving, Sophia and I talked. I told her I felt like I was financially supporting a family and I was exhausted from working extra shifts just to cover the bills. Her response,
I'm sorry you felt stressed out.
She wished I had said something sooner and didn't involve my mom. I told her I was glad because my mom stepped in because I was struggling and I didn't want to feel like a bother when it came to rent. So I dealt with the bills on my own. My mom was just looking out for me. I also had confronted her about the comment she made to my mom that she didn't have to pay rent. She was silent and didn't have anything to say about the comment. And I told her that she would be paying for that carpet repair because I was not. Why is she gonna tell me that she was just looking for a matching carpet so she could sew them together? No, I'm sorry, you break it, you buy it. I told her she could pay both utilities and the DTE bill, $160. It goes up or down depending on how much you use. I would cover the rent, $1,159. I also told her I plan to downsize after December. She has known since September that my lease ends in April, but I didn't remind her. I would also like to add that since November, I've sent her 11 apartment listings under $1,100 for rent.
2 bedrooms, no rugs. It's free.
Girl, you are going above and beyond. She doesn't want to leave, girl. Like, she doesn't want a job. She doesn't want to pay rent anywhere. Now, toward the end of December, I feel like my peace is gone and our friendship is dwindling. I recently checked my door camera last week and saw that she had continued leaving her daughter home alone even after I told her not to. I don't know what to do with this situation because I'm never home. Plus, I don't know what days she works at her new second part-time job and can't look at my door camera every time I get a notification.
Call 911!
Because of all of this, I plan to give her a formal notice this Friday stating that she has until the end of February to move out and she will be responsible for any damage caused by her daughter, or her cat. I do need her out in February, so that way in the beginning of March, I can have maintenance fix the carpet. I think the only time in which you can allow a friend into your space, a friend that's struggling, is if you have absolutely no problem setting boundaries. You cannot be a people pleaser about it. You need to constantly remind this person, and I know that you're sending her apartments and stuff like that, but you need to like constantly remind this person that this is just temporary, that you expect them to find a job, and like you're even being a little too nice about the bills. I understand, oh, it's like, you know, the bills are going up and down, whatever. It doesn't matter. You're sharing a space now. She should be paying part of the rent. You're still being too nice. I would never let anyone into my space for longer than a week that I wasn't willing to set clear boundaries with constantly. And you're gonna have to do that because At the end of the day, if you're not setting boundaries, people will take advantage of it every time. Like literally every time. I'm just saying. So we actually do have an update. So much happened. I don't even know where to start. Basically, on December 20th, I gave her a form telling her she needed to be out by February 28th, clean the room, and be responsible for any damage her kid or her cat caused. I explained everything to her and asked her to sign it. At that point, she hadn't been paying rent, even though we had an agreement, and it was honestly stressing me out because I feel like she was just living off me and didn't care. I already sent her 11 apartments in her price range. My mom offered her a good paying job that she refused, and my family had been helping her too. Then later that night, while I'm at work, she sends her part of December rent. Mind you, rent is due on the 1st, not the 20th, so it was obvious she only sent it because I gave her the move-out paper. She tells me she'll send the first half, $314 on the 20th, and the rest, $314 on the 24th.
It's too late. It's too late.
No landlord would be okay with this. In fact, when you move into a place, like, you have to pay damage deposits that you lose if you damage anything. I get home and notice one of the forms is missing. I text her like, hey, you still need to sign both forms. No response. Print it out and pop it on her face. Saturday night goes by, nothing. Sunday morning, she's in the kitchen making matcha like nothing happened, which honestly blew my mind. How are you not embarrassed? Like literally, how are you not embarrassed to be somebody's charity case? Like I just can't. Like, I literally can't. I waited a bit, but before work, I texted her again, reminding her to sign it. That night, she finally responds, talking about how she doesn't want to sign anything because we are on a joint lease and wants damages handled by the landlord. No, she gotta go. I told her straight up the damage is from her cat, not me or my dog, and I'm not paying for it. I already sent the evidence to the office and they quoted $50, which is on her. That's not even that much, my guy.
That is a great deal.
Ugh. I also reminded her she's an occupant, not a leaseholder. Literally, you have literally no paperwork to say that she's an occupant, nor that you're sharing a lease. And that I've been telling her for months I was downsizing. I told her the form was just acknowledging responsibility and the move out date, and I warned her not to push me because it wasn't gonna end well. And after that, silence. So Monday, I go to the leasing office to confirm her status, and that's when it really hit the fan. The girl who handled our lease was on vacation, and because of how their system works, it looks like Sophia was a leaseholder. Oh God.
Well, that can't be good.
But that was not the case because before she signed the new release form, and before I signed the new release form, I made sure to tell them 4 times that if she signs this, she's an occupant, not a leaseholder. They said yes. So I'm literally in there crying, trying to explain that she's an occupant and hasn't paid rent. Then someone in the office tells Sophia claims she's been paying $600 a month. Absolutely not. I was like, excuse me? I pulled out my phone and showed them every single rent receipt. They basically tell me my options are to wait 4 months or terminate the lease for $5,000 split between us. I kept that info in my back pocket. Later that day, my sister comes over because I made her food. Since I was outside taking my dog to the bathroom, I told my sister to go ahead and I'll be there in a minute. Sophia knows my sister, they've met before. My sister knocks, says who she is, and Sophia refuses to let her in until she slides her ID under the door.
McLovin?
Like what? My sister was about to leave. I had to explain to Sophia to let my sister in and that I'm just outside taking my dog to the bathroom, and her response was,
for what?
And I'm like, she's getting food. When I got home, I was talking out loud on purpose about terminating the lease so she knew I was serious and had the money if I needed to do it. Early Christmas Eve, she sneaks out with her kid and doesn't come back until January 4th. While she's gone, I go back to the office and talk to the original leasing lady. She was pissed because she specifically remembered asking Sophia if she'd sign a release when the time came, and Sophia said yes. Turns out Sophia has been running around the office telling people different stories about paying rent. How are you not embarrassed? Like, how can you literally come home to this? Like, how can she show her face in your house? Like, I just... Baffled. I also got my lawyer involved during the time Sophia was gone, but of course it was the holidays, so I had to wait until after New Year's until my lawyer got back to me. While all of this is happening, I install a security camera in the living room. It's legal in a common area, not hidden. When she comes back, she sees it and loses it because she's been stealing your food, probably.
No, I'm sorry.
I send her the law and tell her if she's uncomfortable, she's free to leave. I told her it's funny that she was feeling uncomfortable now with the camera, but was comfortable leaving her minor child home alone. Oh, that's why she's uncomfortable. Yes, okay, her child's home alone. Yes, CPS, yes. I also told her I don't trust her after all the lying, and if she touched, tampered, or even destroyed my property, I would call the cops on her. It's crazy that it came to this. Like, it's just so, Apparently the next day, she brought this up with the leasing office and they basically told her there's nothing they can do. For a whole week, she's in and out of the office crying, playing victim, telling people I've been refusing her rent money, which makes zero sense because why would I refuse rent I'm asking for? At that point, the office had receipts, proof, and enough stories to realize she was lying. Eventually, they told her she can sign the release form and leave January 12th, which she agreed to. But before she could sign anything, she had to pay for the carpet damage, clean her stuff, and give me back my keys. She finally did. Oh, thank God. Now I've got my room back. I'm turning it into space for my cosmetics business, and I feel like I can breathe again. Huge weight off my shoulders. Oh, and I'm taking her to small claims court for the rent she never paid. I've got all the evidence. On top of that, I found out she's been telling people I told her she could live rent-free and randomly started charging her. I also made it uncomfortable for her to live there because I wasn't talking to her, and she felt confined to that room. And she noticed the camera when she came out of the bathroom. Which is wild because that never happened. Hearing that honestly opened my eyes to how easily she lies without caring who it affects. Honestly, it's crazy how far people will go to make themselves the victim and paint you as the villain. Lesson learned, never doing this again. It really sucks because like, I've literally been in situations like that before where it's like one person ruins it for everyone. And I'm sure that there are situations where people don't take advantage. They really do their part. They at the very least, you know, like, cook for you or clean up after you and like just really respect your space. But I think it's like a 90-10 rule where if you let someone live in your house, they're going to take advantage and it's going to end like this, like every time.
If you give a mouse a cookie.
And it ruins friendships. Every time I've lived with a friend, it has gone south. And like I didn't talk to that friend for ages or stopped talking to them entirely every time. So it is what it is. Don't let friends live with you, especially when they don't have a job. Oh, here's a good comment. My grandma has a saying, and it definitely applies here. Givers have to set boundaries because takers never do. Sorry you went through this, keep your head up. That's like literally what I'm trying to say, is that like takers will just take as much as they can. They'll paint themselves as the victim. They'll somehow like see you as the villain. They'll tell everybody about you. I really wish you had set stronger boundaries because maybe in her mind it was like,
well, she never asked for rent at the beginning, so it's weird that she's asking me now.
Even though you had those discussions. I've literally gotten to the point where I reply, like I will scroll back and reply to texts with people like, oh, well, you didn't say that. It's like, oh, actually, you did. I did. Yeah, I'm sorry that you went through that because like I really do genuinely think that you were trying to help. But the issue is that like if you don't have a set agreement, nobody's paying rent. I just genuinely feel like it's gonna get out of control. It just is. Would you be the a-hole for kicking your friend out of your apartment earlier than intended? You mean the squatter living in your house and breaking all your No. Am I the a-hole? My friend invited herself to my vacation and I won't let her stay with me. Someone knows her boundaries. Everyone involved is in their early 40s, female. I recently got divorced and it's been a very rough go. I went to therapy and it helped me tremendously. I'm finally starting to feel like my old self. I got off my rusty dusty, as my grandma would say, hit the gym, reconnected with my friends. I feel good again. My ex and I used to take frequent vacations, which I enjoyed. There's no reason for me to stop now. So I decided to organize a trip with my friends. I've asked 5 of my friends if they want to go, and 3 said yes. Diane was one of the ones who said no. She already scheduled a few vacations and had limited time available. No problem. So I researched and found a 4-bedroom Airbnb. Everyone will have their own room. One friend and I will each have the master's room, 1 bed in each room, and 2 friends will each have a double room, 2 separate beds in each room. Everything is set, flights are booked, it's 1 month away. We're excited. But that brings us to this weekend.
Uh-oh.
Diane called me and said one of her trips fell through and now she has availability to go on the trip with us. Great. I told her that our host has multiple properties. I'll ask her if she has another one near ours or if she can recommend a hotel that is close to us. Ooh, love the boundary setting. Diane got upset and asked why can't she stay with us? I told her all rooms are taken. She knows this. I was telling her about the trip all along. She then asked why I can't switch rooms with one of my friends and she can share a double room. I told her I didn't want to. Now, call me selfish, call me mean, call me whatever, but make sure to add, I'm a grown woman who needs her space. Period. Period.
Period?
Period.
In your 40s, like I feel like as soon as I hit 30, I started really just genuinely feeling like I'm a adult. I'm not sleeping on a couch. I'm not sleeping in a room. Most of the time I actually get hotels because Airbnbs are kind of like very hit and miss. But like if I'm going on a vacation, I better be comfortable because what is the point? I'm gonna go away and spend a bunch of money and be super uncomfortable, lose sleep, have to deal with other people's bullshit. Like absolutely not. I've gotten to the point where it's like I'm going on a vacation with friends, but everybody has their separate spaces. Like we'll either all get separate hotel rooms, they can get an Airbnb, I get a hotel room, we meet up. Like that is the boundary that I set because I've been in so many situations where it's like, it's not even a vacation. It's just drama fueled, everybody's drunk and hungover and messy and nobody pitches in and people always try to get away with not paying. And it's just like, no, the bills are as clear as day. I'm paying the hotel and that's it. I got my own place to You get the point. I just spent 12 years sharing a room with my ex. I've happily adjusted to being alone. The other ladies are rarely away from their husbands and kids, so they want their space as well. From the very beginning, the decision was that everyone would have their own room. I explained this to Diane. She doesn't get it or doesn't want to get it. Then don't go. She probably just wants like a cheap room situation, you know? Or not to pay, just saying.
Whoop, there it is.
She then called my friends, she's friends with them through me, who are going on the trip to see if they will share with her. They all said no, period. And suggested she get an Airbnb or hotel near us and we'll all hang out together. I just want to say we are all professional women who make good money. So money isn't the issue here. Diane often travels solo because she doesn't want to negotiate with anyone, her words. She had her own room on the group trip that fell apart. We are not suggesting anything that she hasn't done previously. Okay. Fair enough. Now she isn't talking to any of us. I feel bad that I don't feel bad as much as I should. Why? Be so for real right now. Like, why is it so hard just to get another place? Like, she's coming in last minute. She's the one that told you that she didn't want to go, and she's coming in last minute. Plans have already been arranged. It's a no.
No means no.
So I've been through enough in the last year. I've learned how to handle my feelings again. I can't manage hers as well. She knew we had finalized this trip. She knows everyone is looking to get away for their own reasons. We don't want drama and she's bringing it to us. Am I the a-hole for not accommodating her? No. I just genuinely feel like someone who is that willing to just sort of like, she feels entitled. I just think that it's not going to be fun anymore. I think that she will find ways to make it difficult. Like, honestly, like even just the idea of like figuring out how to split the space sounds like a nightmare to me. Like to pay for the space. No, you already worked it out. She said she didn't want to come, decided last minute she did. She can book another place. What's the problem? And it's interesting that you went through so much. Like now you're willing to set the boundaries. And I understand you feel bad because maybe she feels excluded or whatever, but it's like, you're not excluding her. You just had prior plans and you're not willing to change those plans to accommodate someone who literally didn't even want to go in the first place. So no, I don't feel like you're the a-hole here at all. Not the a-hole. She said no. She doesn't now get to inconvenience anyone else because her plans fell through. Exactly. That is how I'm feeling. We are her second choice and she wants us to scramble to accommodate her. Ooh, yes, second choice. I totally get where you're coming from with that. Everyone's like, I love that you're sticking to your boundaries. You can totally tell that these are like experienced women that have probably been walked all over in their lives and they're just not willing to do it anymore. And if people don't like that, too bad. People are pointing out like Diane's gonna like be a drama queen about it. Yeah, I agree. I honestly think it's probably better if she doesn't go. Oh, she isn't talking to you? Enjoy the peace, not the a-hole.
Oh no. Oh no, she's not talking to me. Oh no.
Let her wallow. It's fine. You are not the a-hole, my dear. That was some best friend drama. I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe!